Hey everybody, welcome back to my Project 13. Thanks for coming on by and checking out this update video on my Google Pixel Fold 2 weeks later. Bam. I gotta tell you, man, I'm very, very impressed with what Google has put out here for a first gen. And of course, they've had some time to study the foldable world before putting out theirs. I mean, we were hoping for this a couple years back. But here it is finally, and through their time and taking in their own homework, this is what they've given us. So I can only imagine what the Gen 2 Google Pixel phone is going to be like. The hardware is amazing. The size of this smartphone, it's like a regular smartphone in hand. It just feels so natural. My hope is that Samsung, and I'm going to use Samsung as the example in this video, even though there's other companies that have foldable smartphones, that Samsung will put out a foldable that is designed more like a regular smartphone, smaller than what you now see with the Z Fold series. And holding a Z Fold foldable smartphone in my hand over at Best Buy more than once, it's a cool looking smartphone. I just really like this form factor. The shorter, the little wider presentation that we have here in design, and it's very impressive. It's very solid, no creaks, no squeaks. That longer TV remote shape type of design on the Z Fold series, I mean, it's cool, but I just don't like that, the way it feels in comparison to how my Google Pixel Fold feels. Now, when it comes to multitasking, utilizing tools / apps on a Samsung Galaxy Z Fold smartphone, the user experience is definitely a great one. Samsung's been around for a while. They've been able to iron out a lot of the wrinkles. The software experience in multitasking on a Z Fold smartphone is going to be that much better than what you get on the Google Pixel Fold. The Fold, don't get me wrong, is giving me a great experience so far when it comes to multitasking. Developers and their third-party apps, along with Google Play Store third-party apps, that's all got to be updated. Everybody's got to be on board with that to make sure that anybody that has a Google Pixel Fold is going to have a great user experience, that all the apps that they're using, the different tools when it comes to multitasking, is going to work on that large display. When your Google Pixel Fold is open and you're in tablet form, that has to be a great experience for 1800 smacks. Twitter is the only app that I have, and you can let me know down below in the comment section if you have an app that isn't taking advantage of all of that real estate. But it's the only app that I have that, as far as getting Twitter to utilize that full display, you have to change the orientation by turning to the left. And now you can see Twitter is taking advantage of all of that real estate. Okay, we can go back. You can see the bar on the right, the bar on the left. But if I change the orientation to the right, just like I did to the left, bam, everything working great. That is the only app that I'm having issues with. And it's not a big deal because there is a workaround. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, for 1800 smacks, why should I have to go through all of that? That's something that Google should already have worked out before putting this device out and pricing it at $1,800. Come on, folks. Again, this is a first generation, and it's going to get better. I'm finding myself here a lot more than I am here. And that's a thumbs up, even though I love this right here. So we have an awesome device that's been designed, in my opinion, as perfect as you can get a foldable smartphone. And some of you may say, well, what about that crease? What about that bezel? For me, that is not a big deal. It really isn't. I love having a little bit of bezel to hold on to on the ends, on the edges of my Google Pixel Fold. The crease isn't noticeable once you dive into whatever it is you're doing, folks. Seriously. It's unnoticeable. There's this magical illusion that it just disappears. It's not anywhere of a dislike or even lightly a dislike. It does not bother me whatsoever. The biggest negative that I've had on my Google Pixel Fold is the brightness. When set on manual mode, you can get all the way up to 1200 nits, but there is a peak of 1550. How to achieve that? Well, I found out after I got back from my trip in Redmond, Bend, and Sisters, Oregon, when I was out in the desert, bright sun, it was hot out. That sun was coming down onto the display of my Fold when I was in the camera app, shooting video, taking pictures, and it was really hard to see whatever it was I was taking pictures of or shooting video of. I took my S21 Ultra, my Google Pixel 7 Pro, and I did not have any issues with those two devices when it came to the brightness of their displays. But when I got home, I did some homework, and I found out that if you set to auto mode in the settings, you can actually achieve up to 1550 nits. N-I-T-S. Did I say nets or nits? Nits. If I had known that, I would have done that. I actually did a test, and it does get brighter. Not extremely brighter, but bright enough to work with. Now, battery life has been sufficient. It's been great. 2 weeks in, that's a huge love, like, whatever you want to call it, positive. Depending on what I'm doing, 5.5, 6.5, 7 hours, I've gotten over that. I've been getting through my days. Now, I've always said if I had to plug in once a day, at least for 15, 20 minutes to get through my day, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But it's not the best. It's not the worst. It gets the job done. And that right there is important, especially when it comes to creating content. I love creating content on this phone. I love that all of that real estate I can work with. The 7.6-inch inner display, Power Director, InShot, a couple apps that I really utilize to put the content that I'm creating together, to process and upload to all of you. The multitasking, being able to do all that in the background, the processing, and still be able to watch movies, videos, do whatever it is without getting any hiccups. The second generation Tensor chipset, not overheating, that's a huge like. Yes, my device gets warm. In the desert, it got warm. It did not overheat. I never got any warning that it was going to shut off, which is, man, double thumbs up. That's huge because a lot of you have struggled in that area, and I haven't. And I'll tell you, man, 2 weeks in and not having to go through the overheating and being able to have a great experience when it comes to the performance and functionality and everything working without a hiccup. The cameras are freaking amazing. Front-facing camera, the rear cameras, video, stability. I've posted a lot for you to watch. There's a lot of videos with all of those areas being covered. You can go check it out. But there's nothing on the negative when it comes to the front-facing camera, the rear camera, and again, shooting video and stabilization, getting the job done. Whether I'm in my car or whether I'm walking or jogging, doesn't matter. Connectivity has been solid. Sure, when I was hiking out in the middle of nowhere, you can lose connectivity, but that's normal. There were some areas where I was getting connectivity when we were hiking in areas I didn't think I was going to get it, and bam, it was there. So when it comes to phone calls and texting, all of that, again, I mixed all of the dislikes, positive, negatives together. You got to know me by now. This channel does not follow the rules of your typical review or updates when it comes to what I bring here for all of you when it comes to reviewing anything smartphone related. I just don't follow the rules. I speak off a lot of emotion. I don't like to be scripted. That is why you'll see some of these videos being cut down and edited. Or I edit in some information in the video while you're watching because it's something I forgot and it needs to be there. I guess if I scripted all my videos, I wouldn't need to do that. But I don't like looking away like this at what's scripted and then looking back and then looking over and coming back. I just don't like doing that. And plus, I always have a lot to talk about. And right now, the Google Pixel Fold deserves a lot of conversation. It deserves a lot of conversation because, yes, it's my first foldable. Yes, I'm excited. I'm overwhelmed with excitement, and I'm hyped. And but it is my first foldable, and that's a lot to be said for a first-time foldable user. You know what I'm saying? So I could have been very disappointed and said, you know what, I'm done. I'm not doing this. It's a lot of money. You know, even though I feel that the price point is too high, it is what it is. That's the price point. Either accept it or you don't. I went for it. I traded a device, and I couldn't be any happier in what I've gotten in the last 2 weeks. Charging isn't the fastest, but ever since I've been using my OnePlus 9 Pro wall charger and red cable, it does charge faster. So that's a good thing. Yeah, I don't know if I missed anything, but 2 weeks of greatness in areas that I've had to learn to work with. And outside of that, I think that any smartphone comes with areas that you need to work with. Sometimes we do get those big negatives, and I don't have a big negative. And the brightness conversation is something that I never even really talk about. But it made sense for me to have to talk about that for an $1,800 smartphone. But there's a workaround, and so that's good. But anyway, you can share your experience if you have the Google Pixel Fold. Let me know in comparison to what I've been experiencing in the last 2 weeks. I know a lot of you are getting excited about your pre-order reservation for the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5. It's amazing. It's five foldables from Samsung, and my hope is that they bring a smaller one like this eventually. And there's also got to be the conversation is, when do we start to see the more affordable mid-range foldable? For those out there that can't afford these higher price points, bring down the cost, go through a carrier, trade-ins, being able to take advantage of deals to pick up something that's going to be a little more cost effective for those consumers who would love to have something like this as far as a foldable smartphone, but being able to financially cover themselves with a mid-range foldable. That's something to think about, and I'm hoping that we start to see that soon. All right, that's it. I'm done. Anything I missed that you wanted an answer on, and maybe I have an answer for you, ask. I may not. But yeah, ask away, and I'll do my best to get back to you in a timely fashion. So with that, I'm done.